The manga starts with a young man stands in front of a traditional blacksmith shop, his eyes fixed on the gleaming swords displayed in the shop's window, and said, "It's so cool no matter how many times I look at it." Zamina, a mischievous friend of Vlad, she said, "Again. I knew you did be here, Vlad." And then she asked him, "You know you have been out of it lately, right?" Vlad said, "Do not get on my nerves. This is one of the few breaks I get." Zamina said, "Oh, is that so? This is why people start rumors about you, you know." Vlad asked, "What rumors?" Zamina scans the surroundings, ensuring that no one is eavesdropping. He leans in and whispers near Vlad's ear, "Do you still hear voices when you pick up a stick or something? Geez. What sins did you commit in your past life? Who would have ever expected to get struck by lightning on a clear day? Black lightning at that, too. You should stay cooped up in the shop for a while. They say the new bishop is sensitive about omens and stuff. He used to work as a heresy inquisitor, so if he sees anyone suspicious, they're gonna be sent straight to the stakes to be burnt." Vlad is clearly annoyed by Zamina's comment, his expression darkening. Gritting his teeth, and said, "Why did you have to tell me something like that?" Zamina said, "What? I am worried about you. You are well aware that a lot of people saw you get struck by lightning. Everyone's talking behind your back already. You should quit just standing around like that spacing out. What if the church takes you away?" Vlad said, "I'm not gonna be dragged away just for staring at a sword for a bit." Zamina, undeterred, speaks with a firm voice. "You're so dense. Just buy it." Vlad said, "It is expensive." Zamina asked, "How expensive can it be?" "It is just a back alley blacksmith." "How much is it? Should I buy it for you?" Vlad said, "Its price is 5 gold. Zamina shouted, "What the hell? 5 gold? That stupid metal chunk? With that money I can." Vlad, now realizing that he knows exactly what Zamina is thinking, responds, "Yeah, I know. You would not need to work for an entire year with that kind of money." The blacksmith inside the shop overhears their conversation and steps forward, his voice booming, "What? Stupid metal chunk? You damn little kids. Get out of my sight. This is not something for some back alley kids like you." Zamina, with a taunting voice, responds to the blacksmith, "Then who else would buy this? It is being sold in the slums. Who else but someone from the slums would see and buy that? Are you out of your mind, old man?" The blacksmith clenches his fist firmly, his anger mounting, and said, "What? Old man? You little. Don't you know any manners?" Zamina continues with his taunts, unfazed. "Why are you causing all this ruckus by making a sword only knights would use? Has your time come or something?" The blacksmith's forehead becomes red, and veins pop out due to anger. He shouts in a loud voice, "Yeah, it's because my time on this earth is almost over, you bitch. Why don't you just go back to your shop and wash the damn dishes, you immature little kid?" Zamina, matching the blacksmith's anger, and shouted, "What? What did you just say to me? I'm a grown lady." Vlad, sensing the escalating situation, intervenes and said, "Don't get worked up about this, Zamina. Old man, we're leaving." Zamina said, "Let me go. I didn't even say anything wrong." Blacksmith shouted, "You? Quit it, rotten bitch. She is full of venom. And recall the memory of past, I gave her so much food back then. Damn bitch." Then he notices the spot where Vlad was standing before, and his expression changes, and said he must have been standing here a while. The dirt is all dug into. He should focus on trying to make ends meet instead. "Little kid. It will only be harder for you if you develop dreams in this kind of place. I know very well that a slum kid never makes it out of the slums. So I'm gonna sell this to someone who can make it out of here. I can't let my last work rot in a place like this." It is just like him. They both shine in a place like this, the center of the northern economy, and the lighthouse of the northern region thanks to the power of the Bayezid family, Sora. It is only natural for such a place of brilliance to harbor dark shadows. The slums, into which all kinds of dirty and foul things were thrown. The setting is a dimly lit brothel in the slums, where many people gather every night. Vlad works here as a candle seller. Suddenly, a loud voice pierces through the chatter, attracting everyone's attention. A menacing mercenary, furious, shouts at a woman, gripping her by her hair. Mercenary, yelling, "You damn bitch! You dare try to scam me?" While pulling the woman for her hair, she asked, "How did I try to scam you?" He said, "I have worked as a mercenary for 20 years. How dare you try to sell me some fake medicine? Vlad said while holding a cart filled with candles. It is never quiet around here. Mercenary said, yeah, you candle maker. Great timing. Go bring madam over. Vlad can't resist taunting and said, in order to meet our madam, you need to pay in gold coins, not silver ones. Mercenary said loudly, you want gold when you run the business like this? Bring your mom if madam's not here. Vlad is momentarily engulfed in anger, but he doesn't move, only offering a cold glance. Mercenary continue, the candle that measures time? That was a fraud, right? Why did it burn all the way down before I even did anything? Vlad taunts again, unrelenting. How were you gonna have any fun with just a 5-minute session anyway? Go rub your wife's ass if you don't have money. Mercenary said loudly, what did you just say? Vlad said with expressionless face, you sure are loud. Then should we check? Vlad points at the clock on the right back side of the mercenary. You see that clock over there? Let's see if this candle lasts 5 minutes or not. With a smile on his face, Vlad said, if it doesn't last 5 minutes, you can do whatever you want to that woman. The mercenary, now angry, and demands an answer. Why should I listen to a bunch of scammers? Vlad raises his voice for all to hear. I said, let's do it. But if it has lasted 5 minutes, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Mercenary stunned with fear while looking at Vlad, and thought to himself, what's with this kid's eyes? Vlad struck the matchstick, positioned the candle on the floor, and ignited it with the match. They both stood there, gazing at each other in silence as the candle burned. After a while, the candle was completely consumed. The mercenary turned around to check the time on the clock but couldn't recall what it had shown earlier. He pondered to himself, what was the time before? Vlad said loudly, Mister, now, who's the scammer here? Startled, the mercenary turns around to face Vlad, but in that moment, he's struck on the face by a heavy stick and falls to the floor. Vlad said, that was 5 minutes, you son of a bitch. Vlad swiftly pushes the mercenary into a nearby room, locked the door, and coldly said, you are dead. The mercenary, bleeding from his nose, covers his mouth and pleads, please wait. I can explain. I don't. Vlad doesn't show mercy and continues to strike the mercenary with the stick relentlessly. You should have thought about that before. You're the one who tried to scam us. What kind of mercenary is as fat as you? And what? Bring my mom? Geez, you should be more considerate of people without moms. The mercenary's cries echo throughout the building, filling it with fear and tension. Vlad said, shut the fuck up. Next day in the morning, Vlad said, I think someone messed with the candle. It wasn't 5 minutes. While Gorge is calmly eating his breakfast, unfazed by the information provided by Vlad, Vlad asked, do you get what I'm saying? Gorge, someone messed with our candles. Rose's smiles, madam. Marcella asked, what? Who dares? Who dares mess with our precious candles? Vlad said, we'll have to find out. She said, of course. You look for them? Vlad asked, how am I supposed to find the culprit? She said, I actually already found them. Vlad shocked for a moment and said, who? She said, it was me. I played a little prank. I wanted to scam those drunkards and get more money. Vlad said while walking downstairs, so I beat that dude up for no reason? Oh, well, what can I do as a mere employee anyway? Burly, waiting for Vlad near the stairs, said, I'm real proud of you. I heard what you did yesterday. You did great. Something had to happen while I was gone, huh? You got some tips selling candles yesterday, right? We need some money right now, but we're all so broke. Vlad, still filled with anger, asks in an annoyed voice. What the fuck are you trying to do, Burly? He said, don't be so scary. I'm not asking you to just give it to me. It will be a fair trade. Vlad said, what trade? Burly asked, if you give me some time, I have something to give back to you. Pickpocketer. Awkward, stupid, and unskilled. And, you recognize him, right? I'll give him back for 40 silver. That's a really good deal. Vlad asked, what about his fingers and ankles? Burly said, I wouldn't have called you over if I had cut them off. I just taught him a light lesson. He's real fresh. Vlad gives them the money with disappointing face. Burly said, I knew I could depend on you. Vlad said, just kill them next time instead of looking for me. Burly said, don't be like that. We're gang members, not murderers. Vlad said, you're scamming your own family co-worker. Burly turns to others who are with him, and said, see? I told you Vlad would take the deal. You know he has control over the vagrant kids. Vlad said Ned in loud voice. Ned said I am sorry, Vlad. I tried to play it safe. Vlad, concerned about Ned injuries, asks, any bones broken, Ned? He replied, calmly, no, Vlad, just minor injuries. Vlad said, then fuck off right now, before I break some. Ned said okay. Thanks, Vlad. He said, phew. There goes my goal of 5 gold. Whale hunter, Captain Hoover family, Harvin said, but that kid was lucky. He didn't lose any fingers. Fingers cut off, ankles cut. I ended up becoming a public lesson for everyone. Actually, I heard the candles were messed with? Vlad asked, you already know about that? Harvin said, it's been a while since the rumors went around, but nobody seemed to really believe it. The madam makes the candles, but Marcella isn't the type of person to do that, you know? Vlad said that's what I'm saying. Gorge already seemed to know too. They're not the type of people to do that. Harvin said, but if they did, there must be some good reason. Vlad asked, what kind of reason? Harvin said, there's a 90% chance they need money. Urgent money. Be careful. Vlad. There is only one reason an organization would try to rake in money quickly. A war against another organization? The 5 bosses who dominate the slums of Sora. Whore's Knight, Gorge. Swine Butcherer, Black Bear. Gambler's Dice. Whale Hunter, Captain Hoover. And Moneybug, One-Armed Jack. A while later, Vlad thought to himself, all the darkness of life approaches you, hidden in the shadows soundlessly. Just like now. Moneybug, One-Armed Jack asked, hey, kid. Where is your boss? Vlad continued with his thoughts, accidents happen without warning, and destruction happens without notice. Moneybug's here in person? Then, the preparation for war? Is it? The person with a scar on his eye said, oi, brat. Didn't you hear what the boss said? Where's your boss? Vlad looks at him for a moment, his face contorted in a frown, and said, who knows? I'm just a candle seller, so I don't know. He says, you little child, fucking little bastard. If you don't know, go and fucking find him. In a fit of anger, he smashes all the candles on the desk, sending wax and candlesticks scattering across the room. The employees and customers who witness this sudden outburst are shocked by his actions. Vlad said, oh my. All these expensive candles are now broken. Well, no more sales today, I guess. Room cluttered with the scattered candles and wax, he bends down to pick up the candles that are spread across the floor near the desk. He said, this little fucker, does he not get the situation? Vlad said, Hyung. Move your feet. He asked what did you say? Vlad said, I said get your feet away. Hyung. Move your fucking feet. Person with scar said you bastard. Attempting to kick Vlad, the person found himself thwarted as Vlad skillfully wielded the stick in his hand to strike his leg. Losing his balance, the next strike landed squarely on his face, causing him to fall unconscious to the ground. A fight is a microcosm of war. The intended battlefield, the planned circumstances, and bold determination. Only with that is victory assured. The back-alley's unchangeable rule. The winner up high and the loser down under. The other members who are with Moneybug react to the situation, and said, this fucker, how dare you do that in front of us? And try to attack Vlad, but Moneybug said stop, I really like this guy. I only have one arm, so I hope you'll be a bit more understanding of the noise. Vlad said I don't discriminate against the disabled. Moneybug, after hearing Vlad's reply, starts laughing, and said, this crazy fucker? Let's have a private chat later. Oh, which bum did I take away again? Vlad said seeing how you can't remember, they must have died early. Their conversation is abruptly intercepted by Gorge, who commands their attention. He said in loud voice Moneybug, oh, look what's happening here? If you had told me you were coming, I would have had meat grilled for you. Moneybug replied by saying, come on. It's not like we're all that close to each other. Gorge asked, since we have guests, how about moving this upstairs? Moneybug said, let's skip the meat. Do you have some good liquor? Gorge replied by saying, Marcella's not one to disappoint when it comes to showing hospitality. Moneybug said, well, in that case, let's have a taste. First, Moneybug and then all the people Moneybug brought with him start to move upstairs for a meeting, leaving Vlad behind. Vlad with sign of relief, geez. I almost died there. Then he see towards the candles, how many did he break? A while later, Moneybug shouted for the back of Vlad, Oi, rising star? Your boss didn't hold back on the compliments. I see I'm a good judge of character. Once you get tired of that burning smell, come work for me. I wouldn't mind a lad like you. Vlad said I don't mind working. Here, though. They feed me, pay me, and let me sleep. Moneybug continues to laugh while hearing Vlad's reply, and said, we can do that, too. You've got guts, kid. Here, take this. Moneybug hands Vlad a gold coin. And it's for the candles that my men broke earlier. Vlad said a gold coin? This is too much. Moneybug said with a smirking on his face, work for me and I'll give you as many of those as you want. The name's Moneybug. He said to Gorge, that was delicious. We're leaving? Vlad thought to himself he looks happy. Did things work out well? From the first floor, Zamina shouts Vlad's name loudly. Vlad turns towards the direction of Zamina's voice. Zamina delivers an urgent message. Zamina, shouting, Gorge is calling for you? A little later, Vlad and Gorge are sitting next to each other, with other people watching from behind. Vlad is momentarily stunned when he notices a dagger. Gorge speaks with a somber voice. I was planning on giving this to you later, but the circumstances call for me to pass it over earlier. Keep it on you at all times. Vlad looks around in the room and thought, I could tell from the mood in the room, that Gorge and One-Armed Jack's conversation was a catastrophe. Gorge said, also, don't sell candles from now on. Vlad replied by saying, then, what else should I do? Collect money? Patrol the area? Gorge said while looking down, we got a tip about One-Armed Jack bringing people in from the outside. Apparently, they're mercenaries who used to be knights. Vlad asked immediately like you? Gorge said, that's right. Like me. Vlad thought to himself, One-Armed Jack led an overwhelming number of men. But even for him, the former knight Gorge was a difficult obstacle to overcome. After all, a flock of sheep is no match for a wolf. But by bringing in swordsmen on the same level as a knight, that balance is wrecked. Gorge said it's true that we're at a disadvantage. That is why we need you. Vlad asked while confused in his thoughts, huh? Me? Gorge said, I will be giving you your first mission soon. Vlad thought to himself, Harvan, a disabled man without fingers, and without even the ability to walk with his clever mind, he taught himself language and mathematics, and using that, he is now working under Captain Hoover. Seeing Harvan, I realized you learn through effort, and that learning takes you to higher places. A voice he hear in his head said, Vlad, you might want to narrow the angle of your elbow as you swing down. Vlad said with annoyed expression on his face, damn it. This bullshit whenever I swing. 1 month ago. Started hearing a voice after being struck by jet black lightning. Those demonic whispers start whenever I hold a sword or anything similar. I am going to need holy water before I buy a sword. And thought to himself, ignore it. The more I reply to it, the more it will cling onto me, they said. Focus, focus. Just do your best. Focus all your mind and strength and strike down. Vlad raises his stick, the voice said narrow it. And his movements seem influenced by the voice, as if he's following its orders subconsciously. After the swing Vlad realized that it was different. Earlier, I was just swinging about, but this was more like a sword path. What the hell has made its way into my head? The scene transitions to nighttime, with the dazzling moonlight casting a silvery glow over the landscape. Stanga, holding his sword, takes a moment to clean the blood from the blade. Confidently, said, you can't fool experience. He shivers in the biting cold of the winter air. The winter air is now so cold that I can feel it in my bones. Suddenly, he notices someone hiding nearby and raises his voice. Loudly, said, it's plausible, but you're either stupid or being stupid on purpose. I don't know who you are, but come out now. I'm here now. From the hiding, Vlad decides to reveal himself and asks a question. Curiously, are you Sir Stanga? He, confirming his identity, said, yeah, it's me, Stanga. So you're the one called Vlad. I heard that the guide was from the slums. Blonde hair and blue eyes. People would think that you're a noble. Vlad wasting no time said, this is the letter from my boss. Stanga while smiling read the letter. The opposing organization got a mercenary who used to be a knight. So that is why he needed my help. Vlad responds in a firm voice to Stanga. Vlad, firmly, then I'll guide you. Vlad continues with his explanation. We should arrive by night in 2 days. Stanga is momentarily stunned by Vlad's decision. He lets out a disappointed sigh. He said, I'm not sure if I should really follow someone so stupid. Vlad turns around and said, I'm at least capable of guiding you, you know? Stanga replied by saying, I don't think so. There's no way you are smart when you are doing something so stupid. And warned the Vlad by saying, if you say, this isn't the way along the way I am going to kill you. Vlad glanced at Stanga with unwavering will, and said just make sure you keep up. I don't want to screw up my first mission either. A look of confusion and frustration crosses Stanga's face as he thinks to himself. What the hell? I purposely made myself look threatening, but he just ignored me? While smiling he thought, so that's why Gorge likes him. He's a child that's worthy of being nurtured. After a while, they both settle near a fire to rest. Vlad keeps glaring at Stanga frequently. Stanga becomes annoyed by Vlad's persistent gaze and speaks up. What's your problem, kid? Why do you keep looking at me? Is it your first time seeing a retired knight? Vlad replied by saying, up close, yes. Stanga in taunting manner, he said, are you a country bumpkin? Vlad asked, where do you come from? Stanga said, I am from Daikia. Vlad replied by saying, whoa, that place is so fucking country. Stanga said, you better not lose your way. I'm gonna slice you in half if you do. Vlad said, hey, don't say such scary things. I heard that jokes made by knights are threats. Stanga said with a happy face, oh, that beef jerky looks fresh. Do you have my share too? Vlad replied by saying, he didn't pack me any more. Don't you have anything to eat? Stanga stunned by the Vlad reply. Stanga shows off the food in his hand. I do have this, you know. Vlad decides to cook some beef jerky by placing them around the fire. Stanga watches Vlad's actions with curiosity as he looks at the beef jerky. Stanga thought to himself, fuck. Beef jerky. It smells so good. Then he cleared his throat and said, hey, kid. Don't you have anything to ask me? Vlad replied by saying, what's this all of a sudden? Stanga said, I'll answer one question for one piece of jerky. This isn't an opportunity that comes often. Vlad taunts Stanga in a playful tone. How many do you want? If you want some, just ask. Stanga stunned by Vlad reply and said loudly, you brat. I have pride. Knights receive things when they give something in exchange. Vlad said, but you're retired. Stanga with serious face expression said, I've gone by that belief until today. Vlad asked what your name. He said Stanga. Vlad, what your age? Stanga said is 42. Stanga, a bit confused by Vlad's questions, retorts. Hey, brat, why are you asking something you already know? Vlad continued and asked, do you perhaps know how to use aura? Stanga said while closing his eyes and smiling, looking at you now, you're only innocent on the outside. Not all knights are able to wield aura. And using aura in a real fight is another thing altogether. Vlad asked, so can you use it or not? Stanga said while closing his eyes and smiling, yes, I can use it. Vlad shocked after hearing that, and said immediately take it all. Stanga see towards Vlad unwavering eyes and said while standing up, a knight should only receive things he has given back. Well, there are times when I do whatever I want. I've only been eating jerky the past few days, so there's that. Vlad thought to himself, really? Can I really see it? Stanga stands up straight, wielding his sword in both hands and holding it vertically in front of his face, the blade pointing to the sky. He closes his left eye. Vlad asked, why are you closing your left eye? Stanga said, because I need to bring forth my world from deep within my soul. Watch this carefully, kid. This is the essence of knights. There's a sudden burst of shiny blue aura emanating from the blade of Stanga. Vlad covers half of his eyes due to the brightness of Stanga's aura but doesn't miss a moment of it. After a while, as they are about to enter the slums, Stanga said, I feel gross. Like hobo. Vlad replied by saying, it's better if we're a little dirty. It's better to look like a hobo than a knight. Stanga said, no, I'm not talking about what I look like. I'm talking about my mood. I have my pride as a knight. Why do I need to go through this hole? Vlad said, I was told to escort you through here in secret, so we can't go through the main gate. Says the one who's just talking, let's get going for now. When we arrive, I'll prepare the bath for you. After a while walking through the back alley, Stonga said it's so quiet that it's bothering me. Vlad replied by saying, because it's that time of the night. They both stunned for a moment while looking ahead. Stonga asked, is this place usually like this? Vlad with worried face said, no, it doesn't look like this. Stonga said while looking at the bodies of people, it looks like they already fought. Vlad said, let's split up. I'll tell you where the back door that only our organization members know of is. Stonga asked, what about you? Vlad said while running in full speed, I'll go through the main gate. Right. Now, it's better to split up their attention. Then, I'll see you later. Blood is splattered in all directions, staining the walls and doors. The room is in disarray. Gorge said with a serious face, you got in safely. Good job. The money leech attacked us first. As expected, those who handle money are on another level. Vlad with worry expression asked, are you okay? Gorge said, it's been a while since I've gone up against someone who's on the level of a knight, so I ended up like this. More importantly, did you bring him? Vlad replied by saying, yes. The main gate was being watched, so I told him where the back door was. He should have arrived by now. Gorge said, good. We're going to attack the money leech tomorrow. We're going to end things this time. And then asked, anyways, how was he? He is fine, right? Vlad said yes, he is fine. He seems like a good person, too. Gorge said, Stonga has a hearty side him. Vlad replied by saying, he's quite nimble as well. Gorge asked, did he lose weight? Well, to live a long life, you need to look after yourself. Vlad said with a smile, yes. He's also a knight who can use aura. I'm sure tomorrow will be our day. Gorge asked with worry, what did you say? Vlad said, it seems like he's here now. Gorge asked, Vlad, did he really use aura? Vlad said, yes. I saw it with my own eyes. Gorge said while standing up, get behind me. Stonga doesn't know how to use aura. Vlad asked, what do you mean? Suddenly, the door behind Vlad swings open, and Stonga enters the room, and said, you've come to a pretty far place. Long time no see. Gorge with an evil smile on his face, then got in recall memory when he killed Stonga. Can't fool your age. Guess the winter wind got to your bones, huh? Sounds pretty plausible, but are you just a fool, or was this on purpose? Gorge and Godin stand facing each other, their swords poised, in a tense silence. The silence is abruptly shattered when Godin speaks. You've changed quite a lot. Gorge asked, why come looking now of all times? Godin said, Count Gaidar has passed away. Gorge is momentarily stunned by Godin's utterance. Godin continued by saying, it hasn't been announced due to some complications, but soon everyone will learn about it. Cheers to the pitiful Count Gaidar. Incensed by Godin's comment, Gorge dashes towards him at full speed. Gorge, angrily, said, you son of a bitch. Gorge swings his sword vertically in a forceful attempt to strike Godin. To the astonishment of all present, Godin displays incredible agility, dodging Gorge's attack with ease. Godin said also, cheers to the new Count Gaidar, Sigmund. Filled with rage, Gorge shouts Godin's name as he trying to attack Godin again. This time, Godin swiftly parries Gorge's attack with his sword, causing a resounding clash and absorbing some impact damage to their hands. Then Godin said, have the deserter knight, Gorge, return immediately. This is Count Sigmund's first order. Gorge shouted loudly, Sigmund is not my lord. Godin replied by saying, the Count doesn't expect you to return obediently either. Nor does he hope for that to happen. Their swords locked in a fierce confrontation, the two knights engage in a ferocious battle. The clash of their blades wreaks havoc, destroying the surrounding area. Vlad said, Marcella, it's dangerous here. Let's leave the room. This way. Finally, they both exit the room, but Godin and Gorge battle continuing in the room. On the ground floor, Vlad hears Burly's voice. Burly, shouting, asked, Oi, Vlad, what's the fuss up there? Vlad said, hey, get everyone up here. Gorge is in trouble, and Vlad realizes the urgency of the situation. Godin's powerful attack propels Gorge, crashing through the wall behind Vlad, causing immediate concern among those who witness the fall. Vlad with a mix of frustration and concern look at Gorge. See him falls heavily to the ground floor. Godin stands behind the gaping hole in the wall created by Gorge's body crashing into it, and said, still making choices. As naive as ever, huh? Gorge, you have not changed at all after coming to the shit place like this. Burly and others, gathered below, express a mixture of concern and confusion. Burly, concerned, said boss. What the hell is going on up there? Gorge cough and despite his injuries, begins to rise. Godin readies himself to attack Gorge from above, but Vlad intervenes, throwing a dagger at Godin. Godin easily deflects Vlad's dagger and realizes that Vlad is buying time for Gorge. Godin swiftly moves toward Gorge, ready to launch an attack. Vlad shouts out urgently, attempting to warn Gorge. Vlad, shouted Gorge, get out of the way. Gorge reacts swiftly, jumping aside to narrowly evade Godin's incoming attack. Then Godin asked, why did not you just follow orders that day? Gorge said, I'm a human being. I don't follow dogshit orders like that. Godin said while glaring at Gorge, no, you're a knight. The night has dragged on for too long. Now, I just want to rest. Vlad rushes down the stairs, his worried expression fixed on Gorge. Godin stands tall, holding his sword with both hands. Closing his eyes, Vlad shouts in desperation, trying to halt Godin's actions. Vlad desperately said, don't do this. Godin activates the essence of knights, an aura-based technique, to cut down all the enemies, including Gorge, standing in front of him. A brilliant blue light explodes, causing the front of the building to collapse. Amidst the chaos, Vlad coughs and struggles to catch his breath. Vlad said with a shocked face, what on earth just happened? Vlad hears the sound of footsteps approaching, and he turns, expecting to see Gorge. Vlad's expression shifts to anger upon seeing the approaching figure. Gorge was the first to offer a hand to the boy rolling in the back alley dirt. The first to acknowledge that boy, the strongest person out of all the people the boy had seen. The blue moonlight quietly approaching, wretchedly shattered the young boy's world into pieces. Vlad, consumed by anger, swings the sword he picked up from the floor with all his might towards Godin. Godin swiftly dodges Vlad's attack. Notices sword path. Thought to himself, how does a gutter kid know the sword path? Godin acknowledges Vlad's skill with a hint of admiration, and said, you are impressive. However, Vlad, still raging, swings his sword again in an attempt to attack Godin once more. This time, Godin counters with a powerful kick, sending Vlad flying backward. Godin thought to himself, he was born with it. Can't believe he instinctively twisted his body and deflected the attack. At the moment, Vlad hear a voice in his head, breathe, Vlad, don't lose it. Godin thought to himself, chopping off this budding prospect right now is too much of a waste. Even if he returns with a sharper sword, it will be entertaining for me. And recall the memory of Pass, when Gorge said watching over those with potential is always a pleasure, Godin. Then Godin with smile on his face said, hey, you kid who attended to me. A knight only takes a fair price. Vlad asked what are you saying? No, my name isn't Stonga. And I'm not 42. I got an unfair price from you, so I'll give this back. However, I will take this head. It's a fitting price and my right as the victor. Vlad said in anger voice, I kill you. Godin said while moving away, with your life as it is right now, don't even think of asking for a second price for the beef jerky. Vlad, still recovering from the recent events, grits his teeth in frustration and determination. Vlad, determined, shouted, I won't let you get away with this. I will fucking kill you, Godin. Just you wait. Just you wait. While crying, after a little while later, Vlad, disheartened and sitting on the floor, is addressed by Marcella, who urgently tells him to get up. Marcella said, firmly, get up? Do you want to die here? Vlad remains unresponsive to Marcella's question, prompting her to slap him in frustration to snap him out of it. Marcella, loudly, said, get it together, kid. Do you know what the difference is between the guys that live in the center of town and us slum losers? Opportunity. Those guys can get back up even if they fail once. They can afford that. But what about us? Look. This is the result of just one failure. We die if we fail even once. That's the fate we're bound to. Marcella, overcome with emotion, grabs Vlad and pleads with him while tears stream down her face. So, don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime chance. Vlad, now back on his feet, continues walking down the alley with Zamina. However, his injuries from the battle with Godin, including broken ribs, make it difficult for him to walk and breathe. Zamina, worriedly, asked, are you okay? Should I slow down? Vlad said, no, keep going. I can't end things here. Suddenly, someone behind them shouts that they've found him. Gorge's little minion is here. Vlad disappointedly said, shit, run, and thought to himself, our nest is destroyed. Even if we were just young birds, it was time for us to soar into the sky on our own. Peoples that are following them saying, where did they go? They went this way, didn't they? Those little rats. Maybe they went into another alleyway? The person with scar on his face said, inspect every little corner. I'll reward you handsomely. I will make him pay for the shame he made me feel. Split up? He couldn't have gone far. Vlad and Zamina, having broken into a house, hide behind a door, eavesdropping on the approaching group's conversation. Vlad thought to himself, we won't be able to escape at this rate, and said, Zamina, you go back once things get quieter. Zamina asked worriedly, what? Then what about you? Vlad replied by saying, I need to get out of here somehow. They're close. It's too dangerous for us to move together. Zamina said, no, I want to stay with you. Vlad replied by saying, you promised Marcella that you'd just help me get to a good enough location and then leave? Go to the convent before sunrise. Or to Harvan. Zamina in firm and loud voice, I said I don't want to. Vlad said, Jesus. You really don't listen. You idiot. Does it look like I can protect you? No. Zamina, upon hearing this, starts crying in fear. A person with a loud voice asks, who goes there? Zamina quickly grabs a knife from a nearby desk in preparation. A figure emerges from the darkness and recognizes Vlad and Zamina. Said, you guys. It turns out to be the blacksmith, with whom Zamina had a heated argument a few days ago. Blacksmith, confused, and asked why are you here? Zamina said in a loud voice, don't move, old man. Blacksmith asked, what the hell's up with you? You're the one that's intruding in my house. Zamina said again in loud and angry voice, I said, don't move. I'm really gonna stab you? Then the blacksmith looked closely to Vlad and Zamina and said, I get it. I get what situation you're in, so put down the weapon. Then Zamina shouted, give me the sword? Blacksmith, confused by Zamina demand, asked what are you saying little kid? Zamina said, the one you had hanging up. It's not safe outside the city either. I'm not kidding. So give it. Vlad tried to calm her down said, Zamina, put it down the knife. Zamina shouted with all his might. Bring the sword? Blacksmith thought to himself, right. This is how the slums are. The true character of the people who need to take from others in order to survive. I was the same too. I guess it's her turn now. Blacksmith said in sympathy. I am sad for you, kid. Zamina, enraged by the comment, brandishes the knife in her hand. Vlad intervenes, urging Zamina not to act rashly. Zamina, don't do it. The blacksmith closes his eyes, seemingly prepared for what might happen. However, both Vlad and the blacksmith are taken aback when Zamina unexpectedly uses the knife to cut her own hair, all while tears stream down her face. She said, this won't be enough, but I'll make sure to pay you back later. I swear. So please, give the sword to Vlad. Blacksmith see the cries of the kid, towards Vlad and said, are you leaving? Vlad, yes I am, with a firm voice. Blacksmith thought to himself, the one thing I could never do despite having dreamed of it all my life. This young kid is going to achieve it. He hasn't even spread his wings yet. And said, phew, you young ones sure make things hard for me. Follow me. A moment later, the blacksmith starts pulling a wagon, and someone wearing a hoodie pushes it from behind. Hooded figure, commenting on the smell, it smells unbearable. Blacksmith said, keep pushing. This is the only way. Suddenly, they hear a voice from up ahead as three individuals block their path. In a loud voice, he said, old man, what are you doing out here so late? Blacksmith thought to himself, these bastards. They were here too? And the person asked, are you throwing out trash? At this hour? Blacksmith shouted, you bastards. You blocked up all the alleyways with your stupid dem fighting? My smithy is about to burst because of all the garbage I haven't been able to throw out. While the person saying your personality is so, he noticed someone with the blacksmith, and asked, didn't you work alone? Blacksmith shouted again, I was too tired to do this alone, so I gave him some bread to do the work for me. Or do you want to push it for me? The person said, well, you're fine since you're the only blacksmith around, but I think I need to check who this is. Don't move. Unless you want to have something sliced off. Then he used the sword to cut the hoodie. Zamina said with an unusual face, It sure is hard to make a damn living. He confused of what she is doing and said you can pass. Blacksmith asked, what the hell are you looking for? The person said George's blonde kid. We couldn't find his body. Blacksmith asked, can we go now? The person said, one more thing. We might as well be real certain. Hey bastard. Check the wagon. Don't do it here though. The person with a long stick, resembling a spear, steps forward and addresses. All right. The person said, go over there to him. Blacksmith thought to himself, shit. Should we have gone somewhere else? No. There's no other place we could have gone to. The person said you sure brought a lot. The person with the long spear-like stick takes a closer look at Zamina, recognizing her and understanding her emotional state. Person with long stick said, I know you. Don't hate me. This is my job. I heard Harvin put a boat out to the river. So, everyone went that way. They think there must be some reason that idiot did it. Just keep that in mind. All right. Pass. That's payment for the 40 silver my brother owed you. Vlad said thanks, Otar. After a while later, Blacksmith and Zamina reached their destination. Blacksmith with sigh of relief said, finally. The trash here goes outside the city. Zamina said while crying, goodbye, Vlad. You have to be okay. And the blacksmith dumped Vlad alongside with garbage. The star the boy held in his hand was something the old man made with his dreams, and was bought with the girl's tears. A star that does not shine in the highest peaks of the night sky, and is instead stuck in the ditches where no one looks, is still a star. If it wishes to shine and still embraces light in its heart. After a while later, Vlad sit near the fire and asked to the voice he hear when he welded a sword, can you hear me? The voice said yes I can hear you. He asked who are you? The voice said, I don't know. Vlad said you had so much to say about swords, but you don't know who you are? Well, that's for the best I guess. I'll help you. So you help me too. I'll help you regain your memories. So be my sword. I don't care even if you're the devil. What I'm really afraid of is that I'm nothing. The voice said all right, I will tell you about my sword. A camp near the forest on a frozen mountain. At the center of the camp, there's a larger tent, indicating a commanding or leadership center. Inside the command tent, a person of authority is seated at a chair, looking over maps. He is second son of the Bayezid family. Joseph thought about different strategies along, and with a worried expression he said, too easy. It's too easy. His thoughts are interrupted when Jaeger standing at the entrance and said, young master, I've just returned. Joseph said, yeah, you're here. Jaeger. He said, sir, it seems like something's bothering you. Are you worried about something? Joseph said while his hand on his chin, it's because it's too easy. Jaeger replied by saying, the monster subjugation is going smoothly. The number of casualties are few, and all of them are mercenaries. Joseph said in response to previous comment, aren't deserters considered irrelevant missing people? An outcome without any variabilities or deserters. Everyone will doubt my ability to command. My father and the vassals are a given. And of course, Rutiger, my older brother from another mother. Jaeger stunned for a moment and didn't said anything in the response. Joseph thought to himself, at this rate, it'll be destruction. If I can't become the next count, it's obvious what Rutiger will do. The Bayezid family that glorifies the military. The proof is in the history. Since my father and his blood-related brothers stepped on each other to obtain that position, and said I don't have enough swordsmen. Well, except for you, Jaeger. Jaeger remembers something, and said, young master, aside from this, I have something else to inform you about. Joseph said, tell me. Jaeger said with worry, there's one suspicious soldier. Joseph asked, is it a spy my brother sent? Jaeger said, that's not why he's suspicious. You'll understand when you see him for yourself. A while later, at a place where hunted monsters' body are brought, Joseph said while covering his nose. How dreadful. This was probably done by a child who just started wielding a sword. Jaeger request, please take a look at these ones as well. He see the next one and said this is very poor too. They're all the same. This one's a bit better. This one, too. He stunned for a moment, and thought to himself, wait. The same traces, but it's different. And asked, Jaeger, don't tell me this is done by one person. All of these? Jaeger replied by saying, that's correct, young master. Those are the ones that came in yesterday, and the ones you saw before were done a month ago. He stunned for a moment, and thought to himself, impossible. In just a month? And asked in a loud voice, who is it? Deep inside the forest, groups of mercenaries is hunting the goblins. The person in front said, tighten the formation, so that they can't escape. The person with the spear efficiently dispatches a goblin that had fallen to the ground, proclaiming his readiness to face the remaining foes. Person with spear, determined, said in loud voice, I can finally see the end. All right, let's get the rest of them. The onlookers, however, wear expressions of concern as they look towards the person. He said, why are you looking at me like that? At the moment, unbeknownst to him, a hobgoblin swings a massive weapon with such force that it creates a large explosion, instantly killing the mercenary. The shocking display leaves the others momentarily stunned. The hobgoblin, roaring with ferocity, charges towards the group of mercenaries standing before it. In a matter of moments, the hobgoblin swiftly eliminates the group. The remaining people, filled with fear, express their disbelief at the unfolding chaos. One of the mercenaries said while terrified, this is crazy? Where did that one come from? Other said it broke through group 5. Get back? The individual who had hired the mercenary group approaches them, demanding an explanation for the retreat. Hiring person, asked in angry voice, what are you doing? Hurry up and go forward. Do you plan to get compensated when you're doing this? One person of mercenary group said, we didn't hear that there were hobgoblins. You should have requested expensive mercenaries instead. Or you fight it yourself? He said, you bastards. As he attempts to draw his sword in anger, a person who had been struck down by the hobgoblin falls near him. Seeing the hobgoblin, the person quickly retracts his sword and seems too frightened to engage. Another individual, seemingly unfazed, moves towards the hobgoblin. Other people seeing this, who is he? Someone asked incredulously. Does he have a death wish? Another person chipped in, identifying him, he's Rimmon. That's right, exclaimed another. He's the praying Rimmon. It was Vlad who had changed his name to Rimmon. Determined, he declared, I will take it on, and swiftly dashed towards the hobgoblin with remarkable speed. The hobgoblin, noticing his approach, managed to dodge what would have been a critical hit. Vlad retorted, it was a shallow cut. Then, he heard a voice in his head, urging him to dodge. He acted on the voice order and swiftly evaded the hobgoblin's attack by moving to the left of this strong creature. Vlad said, and damn it, I failed again. The voice in his head said, you're stupid. You can't even do it, even when I told you how. Vlad thought to himself, you'd be considered a genius if you could do it after just being told how to do it. And said, I'm just taking the long route. The hobgoblin, fueled by rage, charged towards Vlad with a thunderous roar. Its massive weapon swung perilously through the air, narrowly missing Vlad as he skillfully dodged time and time again. Each swing seemed to carry the weight of the creature's fury. In a final act of anger, the goblin swung its weapon vertically, aiming to deliver a crushing blow. However, Vlad's nimble reflexes saved him once more as he deftly dodged the attack, moving with the agility of a seasoned warrior. After that he said, this time, I'll definitely cut it down. At the time people shouting Rimmon, the praying Rimmon, Joseph said Jaeger. Investigate that person right this moment. Jaeger said yes, young master. As you wish. Joseph thought to himself, this really doesn't make any sense. These crooked, sloppy swings. To think he's able to walk down the path of the sword. In a month. He's a genius. Mercenaries saying to each other, it's all just trash here. Same here. Geez, I thought something good might be here because of the hobgoblin. Gerda said while laughing. Captain? You did great this time too. Vlad said with serious face, stop with the chattering and make sure to load up my kills. Gerda said, I already did. Who would dare touch what's yours anyway, Captain? By the way, we're almost done with this. What are you gonna do now? Do you want to do some other work with me? With your swordsmanship and my brains? Vlad said, I don't believe in working with frauds. Gerda said, try to threaten Vlad, a mercenary plaque. You can't keep using that. I know someone who's really great at forging, though his talk is interrupted by Vlad when he said, Gerda, you should know that blabbering can get people killed. And thought to himself, if it's a suggestion it'll just warn him. If it's a threat, I will kill him. Gerda stunned for a moment and said politely, I was just saying for your own good. It's a shame to only earn change like this when you're that good. Vlad said, shut up and continue with the cleaning. or you're gonna be saying goodbye to your head, Gerda said while running away. Okay, I'm going. Vlad thought to himself, I'll have to do something about him sometime. Mercenaries loading dead bodies of goblins in the wagon. While Vlad passes through them, the person on the left said, Huh? Is Rimmon going to pray again? The person in the right said, He sure is consistent. He looks so cool. Maybe he really is a noble. He couldn't have been born into the same class as us at least. Vlad whisper, for fuck's sake. I couldn't cut it off with one strike. The voice said, Fool. I told you that the principle of one hit, one kill lies in the element of surprise. Vlad whisper again, What does that even mean? The voice said, You know, when you raise the sword, the opponent goes whoosh. That's when you go wham. Vlad said in a light voice, Am I supposed to understand that? The voice asked him, Why don't you get it? I'm telling you, go wham when they go whoosh. Vlad said, What is this you are saying? Whoosh wham. Whoosh, whoosh. Fuck. A while later in a main camp in mountain, Vlad asked with a confused expression, What kind of meat is this? It is meat, right? Gerda said, I don't know. It's free, so who cares? It's really hard to find a place where the employer provides meals. The person sitting next to Gerda said, They're the Bayazids, after all. The person sitting in front of Gerda said, Right. It's really salty, but it's better than nothing. Vlad said while moving away from them, Enjoy it then. Gerda said, Is the captain going to see the priest again? Should I start praying too? Other person said, You're never gonna be like him. The priest tent, Father Andreas, said, Oh, Rimmon. Welcome? Doesn't he kinda resemble Einstein? Vlad asked, Father Andreas, did you have a good night's rest? Father said, As always. I heard you were praying last night too. It must have been really cold. Vlad replied by saying, How could I feel cold when I'm in the embrace of God? And thought to himself, The darn whoosh whams. Father laughed a bit and said, You're more like a priest than I. Jean said, Father Andreas, the meal's ready. Father said, I see. Thank you, Jean. I was just about to partake in breakfast. Please join me. Vlad said, I'm not here to eat though. Father said, Here, let us pray. Thank you, Lord, for this meal. May we gain strength from this meal, and allow it to aid us to do good unto others. Father thought to himself while looking at Vlad, what an honest believer. Even in the midst of such a lowly place, he has not lost faith. I need to lead him. I need to lead this young man who will always bloody his hands in battle. This, too, must be a fate God has charged me with. Father said, Men. Here, please eat. Vlad said, Yes, thank you, and thought to himself while looking at the food in front, rare wheat bread and soup. Now this is real food. Father said, And about your swordsmanship. I heard quite a lot about it, but it seems like Sir Joseph has heard about it too. Sir Jaeger came to see me 2 days ago to ask about you. Vlad said. And then? Father said while smiling, I have recommended you. I said that I look forward to seeing how you will grow up. The Bayezid family is a renowned family of the north. Just being able to work for them will put you in a much better environment. You have the right to that. Vlad said, This isn't good. I guess I was too conspicuous. The voice said, We had no choice. My swordsmanship can only be learned through real experience. Perhaps the bigger issue was being too close to the priest. Vlad said, If that the case, I had to check. The voice said, Then are you finally certain that I'm not an evil being? He is said to be someone who's reputable and with great divine power, enough to be offered the bishop title. Since he didn't seem to notice anything off about you, I guess I'm certain now, yes. Vlad said anyway, should we run off? The voice replied by saying, Maybe they'll turn a blind eye to your fake identity since you're skilled enough. Vlad said with a worried expression, They'll eventually find out that I killed a mercenary who was stealing. Then I'll be charged with faking my identity as well as murdering. The voice remarks, You're quite the evil man. Vlad said, You're also an accomplice. The voice said, I think it'll be better to run. Self-defense claim only really works when you have a witness. Vlad said, Then we'll run away tonight. If we take Gerda and run, we'll even be able to obtain a fake plaque. The voice replies by saying, Think that may actually prove difficult. Vlad asked why it is difficult? The voice said, Someone's approaching. It's an advanced night at the least. Vlad turned around and pointed his sword towards Jaeger. Jaeger surprised by Vlad's action, and thought to himself, did he sense my presence? He's better than I anticipated. Jaeger said, Sir Joseph wishes to see you. Vlad thought to himself, I should have booked it right away instead of hesitating. I'll actually be screwed if I don't act right. And said, it's an honor. And continue with his thoughts, they say a poker face is an undeniable skill in a card game. Jaeger asked, did you know that I was coming? Vlad replied by saying, I heard from father. Although I didn't think you'd come so soon. Jaeger thought to himself, interesting. A young kid like him isn't intimidated at all by me. And said, come with me. While looking at the Jaeger going a little away, thought to himself, should I try to run now? The voice said, don't attempt it. A knight of his level could kill you before you can take 3 steps. Vlad thought continue. Damn it. I guess I have no choice then. Inside the camp, main headquarters, Joseph said while looking at the book that is, in his hand. At last, nice to meet you. Vlad replied by saying, it's an honor of mine, to meet you Sir Joseph. Joseph asked, are there any inconveniences with your work? Vlad said, everything here is well, thankful for your consideration. Joseph said, blonde hair and blue eyes. I thought you were a son of some fallen noble family. Did you say your name was Rimmon? Vlad replied by saying, yes, sir. Joseph closed his book that he was reading and said, I should have said this earlier. At the moment, Jaeger slaps Vlad, without give him any time to react. Vlad confused by the sudden action of Jaeger. Joseph said, I abhor liars, Vlad of Sora. You should get that in to your mind. Vlad said while cleaning blood off his face, I see you already knew all about it. Joseph said, it's been confirmed your mother was an unmarried woman. But we just couldn't find out about your father. By any chance, do you know who your father is? Vlad said with serious expression indicates that he didn't like what Joseph said. Very funny, asking the son of an unmarried woman who his father is. Jaeger swiftly delivered a kick to the back of Vlad's leg, resulting in Vlad losing his balance and tumbling to the ground. Following this action, Jaeger cautioned Vlad with a tone of warning. Remember your manners, kid. Joseph said while moving toward Vlad, no need for that. Come to think of it, it was quite funny. As for a mercenary group, he could have killed and brought one in. We already know why. You ran from Sora. Where'd you learn to wield the sword? Vlad doesn't respond to Joseph and instead stares at him. Then Joseph said, those eyes are hiding way too much. Jaeger drawing his sword suggests that the situation might be escalating. Vlad recognizes the need to share information to ensure his safety. Vlad said, I had a teacher, who came and disappeared like lightning. He didn't disclose his name. He told me of a one-man ever-winning secret, not to be disclosed to anyone. Joseph thought to himself, his gaze is unwavering, and said okay, sorry for the rough treatment. Vlad thought to himself, did it really work? Joseph said, you may not be aware, but right now I'm in a really tight spot. So, I have an offer. Vlad from Sora, don't you want to rise to higher place? With conviction in his voice, Joseph proclaimed, strength, freedom, survival, and the principles of knighthood. All of these ideals resonate with me deeply. I wish to extend my unwavering support to your cause. A while later, Jaeger is now engaged in a training session with Vlad, but he's holding back, possibly to help Vlad improve his skills without causing harm. It seems that there are other knights present who are observing the sparring session and discussing it among themselves. He's holding out? He's obviously going easy on him. Is he going to be Sir Jaeger's disciple? He's definitely exceptionally skilled. How lucky. He's set for a blossoming future. Jaeger said to Vlad while sparring, you arrogant brat. You held your head high before Sir Joseph with these mere skills? A brat who doesn't know his place indeed. Vlad thought to himself, he's on a different level. If I dodge it, he follows right after, and it's too forceful to block. In that case, Vlad demonstrates some skill by redirecting Jaeger's attack instead of just blocking it. However, Jaeger successfully defends against Vlad's counterattack. But the knight standing around saying, he got it. That's impressive. Jaeger said, that's right. You should manage this much, at least. Vlad thought to himself, I didn't succeed. This man simply allowed me to land a blow. Jaeger said, morning and evening. You'll spar like this twice a day. Vlad thought continue, twice a day? Something like this? Jaeger said that's it for the morning sparring match. Don't cool down too much. After their sparring session, Jaeger leaves the training area. Vlad thought to herself, how non-committal. He didn't give me a single piece of advice. The voice said, remarkable swordsmanship. He ruthlessly chopped away all your superfluous movements. Getting hit is how you learn. Vlad said, no matter where I turn, no one's on my side. Upon his return to Joseph's tent, Jaeger provided a report regarding Vlad's current skill. Joseph asked, I see. What did you think after seeing for yourself? Jaeger said, he can be used. He's at a point that he'd even catch the Count's eye if he was a noble. Joseph said with a smile, as I thought, my judgments were right. Jaeger said with worried expression, however, the issue is that he's arrogant. He doesn't know his place. Joseph said, that's to be expected since he grew up in the back alleys. Etiquette can be taught well if done slowly. I think I have the right man for the job right in front of me. In the reply to his comment, Jaeger said, a disloyal sword cannot be trusted. Joseph said, bowing his head, the moment he saw me wouldn't have gotten me to trust him either. It's better to have him show what's on the inside. Recall a moment when Vlad said, I have something I must do no matter what. And said, in fact, this may be for the best. A relationship where both parties involved want something from each other might just be better. Jaeger said, if that's what you think. Joseph said, he's not quite the wolf, either. He seems cocky, untrustworthy, and full of himself. Try not to rush. You'll need the time to build a huge cage, so big that the wolf mistakes captivity for freedom. A while later at night, Gerda said, it's so cold. Why is it so damn foggy in winter? Captain Vlad's serving under Sir Jaeger? I should have charmed him earlier and gained his attention. Anyhow, must be great. Getting ahead's great too, and what's better than getting out of the expedition team in this weather? A knight from behind him said, anything happen? Gerda replied by saying, no. Roderick Nim, there's nothing out of the ordinary? Roderick said, get your act together and do your job well. Gerda said in a loud voice, yes, sir. Understood. Please don't worry about us. Roderick said sure while moving away from him. Gerda said, everything's so solid that even a needle couldn't get in. How stuck up. He just patrolled so he won't come by for a while. Now then, should we get some shut-eye? After a little later, he wake up by loud voice, Roderick saying, what are you doing here? Gerda thought to himself, he didn't leave yet. Roderick loud voice while saying, looking for a kid? What does that mean? Gerda thought, who's he talking? Roderick saying loudly, looks like you're just a crazy woman, huh? I'm not your kid. Gerda thought continue, kid. What is this? Why did he stop talking? Where's he going all of a sudden? That's not the way to the camp. Huh? What is that? When he go a little near, he is shocked by what he saw. After the morning training session with Jaeger, Vlad thought to himself, my body. Would it hurt you to go a bit easy on me? The voice for the sword said, kiddo, this is a golden opportunity. There's no shortage of people who'd pay to spar with Jaeger. That's just how valuable he is as a knight. Vlad said, but it looked like he just wanted to beat me up. The voice said, that makes the sparring match even better. Everyone needs motivation after all. Vlad said, that's kinda upsetting. Someone shouted for behind, Captain. Rimmon. Captain. Vlad turned to the direction of voice. Gerda, who was hiding behind a nearby tree, said, here. Here? Look at me for God's sake. Vlad asked, Gerda, when did you return? I don't think the expedition squad's here yet. Gerda scans the surroundings, ensuring that no one is nearby. He leans in and whispers near to Vlad's, Captain. I'm going to run away from here tonight. Vlad asked, what are you yapping about? Gerda whispers while covering his mouth with his hand, don't forget, I'm only visiting you out of goodwill. We should meet sometime later and have fun. Vlad, in bit of confusion, asked, what kind of nonsense is that? Gerda said, it's not nonsense. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Those woods. The woods we are supposed to explore are cursed. Vlad curiously asked, what are you saying? Gerda asked, we've had deserters until now, right? But the pay is great and the work environment is fine too. Vlad said, that's right. Gerda said, the woods took them all away. They weren't deserters, they're missing people. Vlad was shocked by Gerda's response. Gerda said, I saw it. The ghost who takes people into the woods. Vlad took a moment to ponder its meaning, and said, you rascal? You've gotta be kidding me with this shit. Gerda said, I'm telling you. It's true? Even the knight went missing yesterday? Vlad curiously asked. Sir Roderick? Gerda said, yeah, he is missing. And while returning, I figured something out. All the guys who went missing until now had black hair. A while later Gerda crying and thought to himself, fuck the goodwill. I should have bounced with my stuff. Jaeger asked while looking Gerda for behind, can we trust him? Vlad responds by saying, nope. Even so, he's not crazy. Jaeger thought to himself, Joseph thinks of this as an opportunity. Because rather than a worthless expedition, discovering a specific trend might be more beneficial. But, it's bothering me. And said, all the missing people had black hair, huh? Vlad said, 3 knights are positioned at the post. Something might happen. Jaeger responded by saying, that's because they're all useless. And thought to himself, but it looks like I can't stay behind either. With Roderick missing, someone more skilled than him has to come forward. Gerda said, Sir Jaeger, the expedition squad's camp is right there. He said, I am Aaron, Sir Roderick's subordinate. Jaeger asked, so, you've searched the whole forest and there's not even a trace? Aaron said, yes, that's right. Even with ex-hunter mercenaries taking the lead, we couldn't find a single footprint. Jaeger thought to himself, guess I have to check it out myself. And said search the area in groups of 3. Spread out as far your eyes can see. All of them together said, yes, sir. Gerda said with angry face, this is just not right. How could you do this to me? You're a fraud. A fraud who takes advantage people's goodwill. Vlad responded by saying, stop the chit-chat and focus on the search. I'll get you something later. Jaeger asked, did you find anything? Vlad said, no. Jaeger said, you're useless. Vlad responded by saying, I'm from the city. Jaeger said, how did you find missing people in the back alleys? Vlad said, it's simple. Just grab someone and beat them up. You'll find them. Jaeger, wearing a disappointed expression said, you're really useless. And thought to himself, the sun's setting. It'll be nightfall soon. Will I have to return as is? Suddenly, Jaeger noticed a river nearby, and asked, did they search beyond the river? Gerda said, from what I know, they didn't cross the river. After all, it wasn't even in the path of the expedition. Jaeger thought to himself, there's no trace in the woods, and we've searched it once already. There's no way we'll find Roderick or the unknown woman here. And said gather the scattered mercenaries. We're crossing the river. Gerda said, yes, sir. Gerda rang the whistle to gather all the groups. Jaeger said, it's not completely frozen. Vlad said, well, winter's over. But it's good enough for us to get to the other side. Jaeger said, splitting up and then crossing it might just work. The rest of the group gathered when they heard the whistle. The person at the front of the group asked, what's going on? Did you find him? Gerda said, no, that's not why I called you. Jaeger said in loud voice, we'll expand the search area by crossing the river. It's not totally frozen, so we'll divide into 3 groups and then cross it. All the groups said, yes, Sir Jaeger. All the groups began to cross the river. Vlad asked to Gerda, what's wrong? Gerda said, I have a hunch something's wrong. Vlad said, hunch? Bullshit. You're just scared. Gerda responded by saying, of course. I'm scared too. I'm not the same as great people like you. A person like me has to have good intuition to survive, you know? And right now, that's exactly what it is. I'm telling you, we shouldn't be crossing that river. Vlad said, I don't know about intuition, but I am sure about something else. If you run away right now, your death won't be pretty. The only witness running from the scene? Even I would catch and kill you. Enough of your nonsense and follow me. Crossing the river is your way of surviving. Gerda said, fuck. No matter what, this is just not right. Captain, this could break, right? Vlad said, of course, it could. If you keep rambling, I'll break the ice and dump you in there. Myself. Gerda suddenly dropped to the ground and exclaimed, I cannot cross the river. Vlad said, get up, will you? We're the only ones left behind. He then noticed something beneath the ice layer and shouted in shock. Vlad sighed and muttered, here we go again. This bastard, seriously don't listen to me. At the moment, Gerda started shouting, corpses? Everyone turned toward the shouting voice, including Jaeger. Gerda continues with shouting, There are dead bodies in the river? At that moment, dead bodies began to break through the ice layer from below. People started shouting, "What's happening? The ice is breaking. Quickly, move to the banks." In an instant, dead bodies appeared in front of them, and individuals shouted warnings to one another. "Fuck. What the hell is this? We're surrounded." One person asked, "Sir Jaeger, what should we do?" Jaeger thought to himself, "This is a trap. An elaborate trap, as if they knew we were coming." Night and darkness. These were not territories of the living. Love manga? Don't miss out on the latest recaps and insights. Subscribe to my channel for in-depth manga summaries, reviews, and discussions. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this recap, and let's chat in the comments about your favorite moments and predictions for the next chapter.